Hello, I'm Aubrey Shepherd. It's on the 8th of February 2018. Let's see some photos from Fayetteville, Arkansas. Okay, here's what Pinnacle Food Company is doing out on their prairie, where I've made so many thousands of pictures. They're putting in a pond, they call it, that will slow down the water, catch water coming off the factory where they built the new parts of it. And of course, that's going to take out a lot of the native plants in that particular area, but it won't be totally bad. The only really bad threatening thing is that if that pond fills up and it runs off as they have it, the piped direction they're sending it, it will be a threat to houses downstream. And we can see that at the end of this take right here. Excuse me. Anyhow, it would have been nice if they put in and they still could, put in a perforated pipe way on out to the north there and let that water soak in naturally as it always has. One of their engineer folks working on their big expansion activity, he said it would, it was not even, it was man-made natural wetland. Well, that's not true. If you go back to the oldest city things, you can see the prairie out there as soon as the railroad was built. Anyway, this is the one pipe that would be away from that neighborhood so much. It would go out into the land on the way down and slow down there too. But anyway, we'll live with it. This is a view of that pond and the Pinnacle food plant. Here's here's one of the houses that's threatened. You can see how low it is. You can see how tiny that stream is. Water pours all the way over the street sometimes, and that's a dangerous thing. Okay, let's look at flowers, basket flowers. Okay, here's a very precious milkweed, and you don't see those everywhere. Here's another milkweed now. This is a very small, see, a totally different look, but the design of the flowers themselves, if you see them up close like this, are very similar. Okay, poppy mallow, showed one last week or before. And here's another yellow flower out there on Pinnacle Prairie. And here's another milkweed species. All of these things feed the monarch caterpillars. Okay, this is a native. Okay, here's another milkweed. Let's mention all these different species of milkweed out there. And here's goldenrod. Here's two kinds of tall grass. The tiny, narrow ones, those are called little blue stem. The thick ones you see up close, those are big blue stem. I like to show those things in a mix. Till next time, do your part to help keep the water clean, the air pure, and the woods green. See you. Hello, it's Aubrey Shepherd on the 8th of February 2018. Let's see another short take of pictures. This is a mix. This was at the gathering of it was a board meeting actually of Tricycle Farms, just a few of the people. Now here's some activity at the Fayetteville Public Library. This is the Omni 350 gathering, where wonderful discussions are held of the climate action that is occurring, the changes, and what people can do to save the planet. And we have one of these every month, and I have them online. Here's a guy you haven't seen on foot in Fayetteville much in a long time, and that's what's Dan Dean. And here's Ned Permy, one of the older members of our society who perseveres in getting out and marching in various things. And here's a very tiny flower that looks really big on the screen, thanks to the magic of cameras these days. Okay, here's ironweed and some other species. Ironweed's the red. And this is something I haven't seen in a year or two, and I just pulled that one up too. All of these are native plants, and this is an insect that you won't see very often. Probably won't want to even get close to it if you're scared of such critters. Here's a frost flower. We've had some of those this winter, and maybe we'll have some more. And here's okay, this is a caterpillar, and I thought we were going to see the actual, okay. This one, this is a tiny orchid growing on Pinnacle Foods plant. And here's a Gulf fritillary out on Pinnacle wet prairie. Here's okay, this is a two-part thing. See the flowers at the top and then the bottom. Okay, Jim Morris is right. And you recognize the other two men. I'm too slow to name them all. One of my favorite frog pictures. One of my favorite goose pictures out on Pinnacle Prairie. This was several years ago. So you see that one goose sticking his head up. And there were some more out there. Okay, one of my favorite pictures of a grasshopper. And of course, here are two different versions of the beautiful passion flowers. And that's a picture made by Joe Neal, and just had to toss that in. And here's, here's my, I already say this favorite frog picture, and he was in the mass of goldenrod flowers and sat still for quite a while for me. I can almost see him open his mouth and croak a little bit here. Till next time, do your part to help keep the water clean, the air pure, the woods green, and get ready for the native plants again this year. See ya.